Hello, August the 5th here, another Jonny's Journal, John Foster, LBV.UNIVERSE, if you want to follow me on Twitter. I was going to do a video today talking about the pre-season friendlies, men and women. However, waking up today with all the news that's broke out, I just had to put that video on hold and just say, wow, what's going on today, seriously? So, you can see by the title of the video, Maguire in, Greenwood out. I'm sure a lot of people will be happy with today because a lot of supporters may not follow the women's team. They may not be too clued up about us chasing Fernandez, this, that and the other, and we'll go into detail shortly about all these things. But me personally, I think today the bad has kind of outweighed the good. And the reason why I'll say that is, even though Maguire's joined, I went to bed last night thinking that he was going to join anyway. So to me, there's no surprises. So there's no good today. We knew Maguire was going to join anyway. So let's just go back. Let's go from the beginning then. So I've done a night shift last night. I woke up at about mid-morning, put my Twitter on, and I saw Greenwood has left to go to Lyon, and I just couldn't believe it. To be fair, I've read a couple of articles or a couple of tweets, and I thought, oh, it might just be in the pipeline or Lyon or after Greenwood, this, that, and the other. But it was absolutely everywhere on my timeline, on my newsfeed, etc. And I just couldn't believe it. I actually had to put a tweet out myself just to get a few answers back from people who tend to answer me, people who are very clued up with the women's team. And yeah, they said it's all legit and she's going to go. I think for me, what hit me the most is just how sudden it's come. The fact that it was unexpected. Now apparently Lyon was after her at the end of last season. I'm not aware, I mean I don't know, I'm not that clued up from last season. I've only really been following the team for like the past 6 months. But to me, because it's happened so suddenly, it just completely took me by surprise. You know, it's our captain. There's been no rumours about her leaving. There's been no rumours about her being unhappy. She's had a good pre-season with the Lionesses. She's come on tour with us. Okay, she didn't start the match, the first match in Norway, in Oslo. But we thought that was because of her playing on international duty and she'd like getting back. You see, the 5 signings that we've made to actually help the team and help the team push to stay in the Super League and potentially push the top 4, top 6. And there's just been no sign of us actually selling one of our best players. Then all of a sudden I wake up and I see that message that our captain has gone. You know, her being captain just explains it all. She's not just like one of our best players, she's one of our most experienced players, one of our leaders, someone that was able to rely on last season to play in midfield and defence. And it just took me by surprise, it really has. A lot of people have bought shirts already with Greenwood number 3 on the back. It's just come out of nowhere. I don't, for 1 minute, I don't go thinking, oh, let's stop supporting Greenwood, because I don't know the ins and outs. All I know is that Lyon's the best team in Europe, and we're still a new team. She may have thought to herself, you know, she's had a great season with Manchester United women's team. She's helped to get us promoted. Let's move on to bigger and better. And you know, you can't argue with that, because when it comes to the women's team, Lyon is obviously a lot bigger than our women's team. But it is just a shame that we was actually building something in our women's team to actually maybe compete against Lyon in 3 or 4 years' time. We don't know that, but with the additions that we've made this close season, if we continue that progression, we could have definitely got there. So yeah, I know I made a video last week or the week before saying one of the things I'm looking forward to the most is actually going up there to meet, you know, going to the women's matches to actually meet the likes of Greenwood, or at least see her in person and maybe get a shirt signed or something, had a selfie with her, just because she's our captain and everything that she'd done for us last season. So to wake up and see that, you know, I think that was really disappointing. yeah, so moving away from that, the next thing you start seeing is I'll put a few YouTube videos on, see if there's any more progression regarding Fernandes and Lukaku and Dybala. Well, 2 days ago it looked like Dybala and Lukaku wasn't going to happen, and I just wanted to make sure really that if anything's changed, and if it has changed, it's just got worse and worse, and the closer to the transfer deadline we're getting, the worse it's actually getting. So okay, we've signed Maguire, but it looks like that we're going to miss out on Dybala and Fernandes as well. So regarding Dybala and Lukaku, last I've heard, which was this morning off a few reporters around Manchester United, we could still be selling Lukaku even after transfer deadline day, because he still may go to one of the Italian clubs for cash, which that is a good thing. But on the flip side to that, it shows that we're not going to replace him. We're going to be relying on Greenwood, which 2 weeks ago we was expecting anyway, to be honest, I think. But again, everyone says it's the hope that kills you, and when you see Dybala's name linked with Man United, and I actually put a tweet out saying this is one rumour I actually believed in, because I did genuinely think it was going to happen. Juventus wanted it to happen, Man United wanted it to happen, Lukaku wanted it to happen. It looks like Dybala doesn't want it to happen, and we've obviously pulled out of that now because maybe Dybala's just wanting a bit too much and we're refusing to give him that. And on that note, you can't really blame Man United, because if he was asking for the world, we'll start kicking up a fuss saying, oh well, you know, there can't be one rule for Sanchez and one rule for Dybala. So I completely understand it. It just goes to show that our big club, our name doesn't really attract these top players anymore. You know, before players might have, I wouldn't say taken a pay cut, but they certainly wouldn't have been holding us to ransom. Whereas now, it looks like these big name players are asking for the world, and if they don't come, then they're not really that bothered, because Juventus, for example, is a better playing team than Man United at the moment. So yeah, it looks like the Dybala things fell through, and Fernandes, there's just been no talk about it whatsoever in the press or on the TV or anything, or by anybody credible. So literally in the space of 3 days, we've gone from having potentially one of the best defences in the league to having two exciting attacking players to having probably just Maguire now. Like I say, Fernandes, again, last I heard, which was not last night but the night before, apparently Solskjaer is not on his Solskjaer shopping list. I don't understand what that actually means. I mean, maybe he was on his shopping list a week ago, but now he's not on his shopping list, because I can't imagine us scouting him all season, him being the name, just being constantly linked with us all summer and spring. All of a sudden, with 1 week to go, he's not on our list. I'm sure we would have heard that before now. So logically, that makes me think that at one point he was on our list, but for whatever reason, either he's turned us down, or Porto just want too much money for him and we're just not going to buy him. I don't know, but something to me that doesn't add up there. If Fernandes wasn't on our list, we would have gone for another midfielder, because there's no way we would have just gone for defence this season, midfield next season, and then maybe squad players the season after that, because our midfield's far too weak. So to me, something's gone on there. I don't know what it is, but we've cocked something up, I think. And now, will we go back to Longstaff? Or not that he's obviously in that league, but just relying on the players that we've got currently. You only need one injury, and then and that's Pogba, and then we just absolutely nowhere. Regarding McTominay, obviously everyone's raving about McTominay and this, that and the other. Been brought on by the club, so obviously Man United have been putting out a lot of tweets about him, a lot of things on the apps. They've been doing interviews with him. He's now ended up on Pro Evolution Soccer cover. It makes me think, partly, are Man United hyping up McTominay just so we as fans think, oh yeah, great, McTominay's getting better, and we're almost getting like brainwashed thinking McTominay is better than he actually is. Now, don't get me wrong, he's had a great pre-season, he's had a few good games last season, but he's not where he needs to be just yet, is he? And if Pogba was to go, everybody would be looking at McTominay to hold our midfield. You know, this time last season, he wouldn't have even made the starting 11, and potentially even this season he won't make the starting 11 because Matic will probably start before him. Not that I agree with that, I'm just saying that's potentially what could happen. So, I don't know, man, like I say, I've woke up today and I'm seeing one good thing in Maguire's sign, but I already knew that was going to happen anyway, I think the whole world did. And 3 negatives, you know, and I think the negatives do outweigh the positives. Don't get me wrong, I wanted Maguire and I'm happy that we got Maguire. I wanted him at the, you know, when the World Cup was on last season, so, you know, last summer, and, you know, I was one of these fans who quickly jumped on the bandwagon saying, oh yeah, Maguire, you know, we need a centre back, it's great, he's English, he's had a good World Cup. You know, I probably jumped into that too early, but because he had a good season last season, I think he's well worth that fan base. And he has got a strong fan base. I think 90% of Man United fans are really happy that we've got him. He's a big improvement on what we've got at the moment, massive improvement in what we've got at the moment. Forget the money, 80 million, we just had to pay, didn't we, because who else is out there that we could get that's going to be more suited to what Man United need and more suited to the Premiership than Maguire. As soon as De Ligt, about 2 months ago, as soon as De Ligt basically said that it was going to go to Barcelona or Juventus at the time, whoever it was, you knew that it was going to get Maguire. Nobody else was even in the pipeline because Koulibaly was even before De Ligt, and so that got pushed away. De Ligt got pushed away. So to me, I can understand where Maguire's come from. And watching Maguire's 8-minute interview today on the Man United website, he's saying all the right things, just like Daniel James, just like Wan-Bissaka, and you can see, okay, they're more British as well, so you can see it actually means something to these guys signing for Man United, whereas the likes of Dybala or De Ligt, it wouldn't mean anything. It wouldn't mean anything because they're not British, they don't care about the club. They might just see it as a career move and a big money move, whereas you can actually see Maguire, I think he's a Man United fan from what I've heard. You can actually see that he actually cares about the club and he actually wants to do well for the fans. He doesn't want to let us down as well. So I am really happy about Maguire, and let's not get it twisted. At the start of the transfer window, if you said we could improve our defence with Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, you'd have took that all day long, wouldn't you? I think the problem is we've got like 3 or 4 days left of the transfer window, and we've still got no improvement on the midfield. Ignore James for 1 second because he's more of an attacking winger. I'm on about the centre of midfield. So because we've got no signs of improving in the middle of the park, you can't help but think that we're still going to finish in the top 4 or even the top 6 now. I'm going to finish the video there because I just wanted to talk a little bit about what's happened today. But I'll do another video either tomorrow or the day after regarding the pre-season games. There is a lot of positivity in the pre-season games from what I've seen, and we'll go into a bit more detail about that later. But literally 3 or 4 days left of the transfer window, and we've still got no midfielders, and we're relying on McTominay, Fred and Pereira and Mata, who are the same people who kind of let us down last season because we finished 6th. Let's just hope Pogba stays, eh? Okay, so I'm going to finish the video there. Thank you very much. Like I say, you can follow me on Twitter, John Foster MUFC, JON Foster MUFC, and let's see what the next 3 days brings. Thank you.